Good afternoon, everybody. We will be with you shortly. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the great digital media universe. And so glad to be starting another week with all of you out there, all of our viewers, and of course, all of our guests. We got extra guests in the house today. We've got my co-host, Pedro Garcia, but over my other shoulder here, we've got the mighty lioness, Nina Fox, who we'll have on the show talking in just a few minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, first, my co-host, Pedro Garcia. What's happening, Pedro Garcia?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? It is good to be here as always. It is a glorious day, so gray and so beautiful, and I'm looking at the silver lining about it all. So,
how was your weekend, Pedro?
It was really good, man. It was really for it. It was a chill weekend. I got to hang out with a buddy of mine, and we just went over stuff. We went to the movies and went to the mall and kind of hung out, so that was fun. And then and it's back to the grind. It's funny, I don't really do anything else but work because I like what I do. So it's like it's fun for me. But most people don't like staring at charts, and most people don't like looking at like meme coins or looking at like traditional stuff like TradFi stuff, all the craziness that was happening over in Hong Kong, right? And then in additionally to that, the carry trades messing up, and then all the other stuff is happening over in Germany, and as well as in what's
Canada.
What's the other country?
Canada, right here where I am in my mighty Kanukistan. The government may fall. The government may fall today. The Minister of Finance resigned and accused the Prime Minister of basically being an overspending dipshit, which he is.
Shocking. What?
I can't believe it. And the amount of the deficit that's going to come out is going to be like twice as much as they expected. So it's going to be rough here. So the government may fall, might have early elections, or some political chicanery might happen. You never know. And then over in Germany, across the pond, over there, the Germans blew it too. They elected a new prime minister, and he immediately got a new vote of no confidence here shortly after, I don't know, it's been a couple of months, but it's not that long for Prime Minister Scholz over there. So Pedro, is that tossed the euro into any the euro versus the dollar, or did that market anticipate that?
I think the market anticipated, because I really didn't see much. I was sitting there waiting for it all to fall apart, and honestly, the futures just kind of went bleh. So it kind of frustrated me, because I'm like, let's go, man, like let's make some money, and it just said bloop bloop, and that was it. So I think it. And I was sad in there but I mean, who knows? They really haven't come out and made decisions, right? We're gonna see certain movements happen when they make stupid decisions. So
Right.
I think that's what it's almost waiting for right now, almost like the calm before the storm, and waiting to see the chicanery. What do you call it? Chicanery?
Chicanery.
Chicanery. The chicanery of politics and things getting
Orange today.
hopefully fun, right? Hopefully they do something stupid so that the market will move like crazy. I know it sounds horrible, but then we can also expect Bitcoin. Speaking of AKA Mr. Beast, AKA Taylor Swift, Joe Rogan, and what's the other one we normally say?
Let's just say Donald Trump, baby.
And Donald Trumparoo, trumping it up. Let's check out Bitcoin as it is moving. So one thing that I always talk about, right? And last week we saw this pretty evident. This was Monday, Sunday to Monday. We saw a sell-off and come back pretty strong. I was hoping for a much deeper sell-off. I really was, right? I was like, let's go. Let me pick up more on my altcoins and pick up more. But it did, as we saw the sell-off. We came in, started selling off on Tuesday, but sure enough, Wednesday, we started coming back up. And we closed off pretty much right here on Saturday into Sunday. Sunday was a unique thing. So I'm a little nervous in this aspect, right? That we're seeing an up Sunday and an up Monday. Now, granted, I can understand why, because from a geopolitical standpoint, as well as a traditional finance standpoint, it's kind of nuts. And so since Bitcoin is kind of being deemed, and I hate to call it this because it's not what it is, but a flight of safety in a sense, right? Because it's kind of like gold. But in the same sense, we're also watching, I don't, and I talked about this 2 weeks ago and last week, that Bitcoin is not a flight of safety. It's not one of those things. It's not an asset class, even though it can act like an asset class, right? And so this idea that it's kind of trading, and there's honestly a lot of collateralization of BTC, which potentially could see another, just anytime you have hedges against anything, and then that gets derivatized, then all of a sudden it just gets dumb, i.e. the American fiat system or Western fiat system. But in the same sense, it's still beautiful. So I'm seeing it up Sunday, up Monday, right? I've talked about that 110 area that we could hit if we hit the 110. Remember how we talked about the 100,000, right? Right here, when we went above the 100,000 and we saw the sell-off, right? And again, the same thing. It was clearing out all the stops, all the longs. Boom, the institutions came through, got their orders, and then established it again at the last sell-off of last week. And potentially we could hit that 110 area, and then again expect sometime, because again that might act as a psychological sell-off period where the institution, and mind you, and this is important to understand, on traditional finance, if you go into the CME, Bitcoin is a 50-to-1 ratio in relationship to every point it moves up. I was actually talking to one of my trading coaches who's strictly TradFi and trades futures. And I explained to him, I said, this is a 50-to-1 every point. And so if it moves 1,000 points, that's 50,000, or 1,000 points, $50,000. It's a lot of money on the big contract if you wanted to trade it. Because he was bragging about the NQ. Which is the NASDAQ for the futures. And I said, bro, that ain't nothing. If you trade this, and so this is again from here, from 101,000 all the way up, and really where they picked their stuff was about that 94,000 to that 110,000. That's about 20,000 points that we've seen a pickup in Bitcoin. That in itself, if you think at 20,000 times 50, is a lot of money. So I would expect
it certainly is.
And so in the same sense, I could see Bitcoin hitting that 110 area and then seeing a pullback. And so I would expect it. So if we're looking at this right now, and I was talking with Tom about this as a trader, I'm typically, if we start to see an overhead extension like this, extension, pullback, extension, pullback. But you can see right here in the market that we're seeing almost a slowdown in the actual candles themselves. right? Like the candles aren't as exaggerated here. And so whenever I start to see that, I'm always trying to see then on the back end, and this is super important to pay attention to, right? Are we putting in demand wicks? Which means, are we defending, or when the sellers step in, are we defending that area where it comes down and then goes back up, right? And so we are starting to see that where we're bouncing off of that 8-period moving average, but I'm seeing kind of, and I hate to say it, a potential pullback that we could see, we could actually take in on this trade. And this is, again, we are catching a falling knife in a sense here, okay? Whereas as the market is pushing up here, right, it is bullish, right? But we're seeing it, and this is the difference between as it shifts from a higher time frame to a smaller time frame turnover and to a pullback, then where it continues back up. And so these are the little things we want to be paying attention to. Now, as we are continuing here, though, it's really important. If this stays above our 15 8-period moving average, which is sitting right here, okay, that 8-period 15-minute chart, then we want to stay long. But if we start to break through that, then I would expect us to see us come down.
We come below the 8-period. Which chart are you looking at? The 5-minute, 15-minute?
That would be the 15. That's the 15-minute chart. 8-period moving average. If we start to break through that, then I would expect us to come back down to the lower part here, which is going to be that 105.55 area. That's 105.552 area. All right, and then so this is the area that I would wait for a pullback personally to see if it could pull back to, so I can pick up on the push up. Now we push through all the moving averages into this evening, or into as we're going into the evening session here, right? Right now we're on the later side of the morning, going into the afternoon evening session. So whenever you see something like that and you see a slowdown, a decreasing in the candles, that typically means that some type of momentum, some type of the velocity of the movement is kind of petering out. So I would expect to kind of see a pullback. That's why I'm expecting a pullback into these lower levels here. And so, like I said, about around this area right here, I like it. I like it a lot. If I'm going to get into it, I'm going to risk a small amount, as I always talk about.
What is that level? Because we can't see those numbers, sir.
Oh, sorry. This level is what I'm looking at the 105, 250. This is the BTC USD. That's USD. BTC. And as I sign language, so I'll make it very clear here. And I'm looking, as you can see, right here at that 8-period moving average, where the daily, or not the daily, but where the 8-period on the hour chart, 60-minute chart. I'm looking for a pullback into this level so that I can capture into the next leg up as it moves forward. That's in a nutshell. But ultimately, BTC is on. Dude, it's
all-time highs this morning, right
Let's
on our show.
Go, baby.
That's why it pumped, baby.
Go. That's exactly.
Because
we got Linus with
viewers
us. That's
right.
why.
No, because you have pumps. That's why it's pumping.
It's pumps, baby. It's pumps.
All right, Pedro. Let's talk quickly. I pulled you off your screen off here. We have not addressed our crowd yet today here. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Jansen in the house.
Dr. J.
Where is the... there it is. Chuck, it's going to be an awesome show. It already is an awesome show.
Wolf. Yeah.
Fire Chicken over on Rumble says, I am for it. Do not fear. I am here. Ka-ching in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Derek all the way from Minneapolis joining us.
Extreme
Thank
Car
you
Care
very much.
In the house over UK.
Extreme Car Care coming to us from Manchester. Daryl Lupton says, evening all, because he's coming from Madrid, España.
Shout out
Crypto
to our
Mike
friend
coming to us from Manitoba. Thanks for joining us. Crypto Mike, lots of crazy stuff going on in Canada today, huh? Yep. That's right.
Bolick is in the house with Alpha Wolf.
Alpha Wolf, the hardest working man in crypto, in the house right now. He's got a lot going on with his projects. Community takeover project is coming. So there's too many things I can't mention. I'll have to let him do all that kind of stuff. Alpha Wolf says BTC 118 to 122 next month in January. I think that's very feasible. And says how the banks are involved now instead of being pumped on the weekends. Crypto is being pumped during the week when the bank is open, and Sunday to us is Monday to China. Yeah, you got that right. Late on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. Poodlebala, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Who else? Oh, Lucifer's in the house. Thank you, Lucifer. Back from down under to watch my favorite show, DYOR. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
Really appreciate it. Says good morning, Chumbalones and Chumbalinas. But Pedro, we got a guest today. We've got a guest today.
Yes, we do.
If you looked at
Our thumbnail.
the show thumbnail, it's Meme Coin Monday, and there's a new DYOR on the XRP ledger chain. Very small, I mean, it's the ultimate meme coin because I think it's worth under $1,000. But that's not the point. Our guest today, Nina Knox, otherwise known as the Lioness on X and around social media, has been in crypto for a while and has started her own little meme economy, as she calls it. And so we're gonna bring her on here to talk shop and that type of stuff. And usually my button works here and you come up magically, but sometimes it takes a few seconds for it to work. And there we are. Nina, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys. You're
welcome. You're welcome. So we haven't had a guest on Meme Coin Monday in a long time.
Okay.
Tell us, give us the 1 minute background. How did you get involved in launching your own meme coins?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been in crypto for some time. Obviously, I knew about, Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Pepe. So I've been in crypto for over, 7 years now. And I was looking at all different things that were happening across the board, different chains. And I also had a personal passion of mine, actually, to onboard more ladies to Web3 and crypto and Bitcoin. And even though we're talking about DYOR, which is like a tiny thing, I just was trying to play up to the narrative and I was playing with XRP, but I also launched our soul, like red souls on Solana, right? Those pumps. So I was just thinking, what is the best way to relate to, ladies and men in such manly dominated, space. But I've been observing, the market myself. I actually believe it's $1 trillion, market that's in the cooking right now. And I also wanted to create something that can be timeless and relevant and also educational and fun. And I was like, hey, why not, right? And I can be a member of different communities. But then I was like, let me start the first, feminine movement meme on Solana. But again, not to confuse with feminism and none of this bullshit because it's for everybody. But I did want to, do pump the pumps to attract more ladies. And that's just, how I got into Solana. But then we started expanding across different chains because I do believe it's a multi-chain $1 trillion economy.
So you launched one of them on the XRP ledger. I have very little experience with the XRP ledger. I had to ask you, like how do I even find it? And how was it launching it? Do they have now a service like Pump Fun, or do you have to manually launch it? Launch it?
Listen, it's so easy. I just did it on First Ledger, like First Ledger, like on Tron, you can do it on Sun Pump, right? On Solana, you can do it, Pump Fund. So it's not that complicated, to launch. I just want everybody to know this, right? It's what happens is the, meme coin, but also I want people to be very careful because there are so many cults and, people do this pre-sales and there's all this stuff that can happen with wallets and KOL. So you have to be, careful. And honestly, like hate me or love me, I wanted to do fairest launches of all. This is why I didn't have any teams, I didn't have any pre-sale, I didn't have any hidden wallets. I really wanted, everybody to have an opportunity to ape in, and you still can, right, without any hidden bullshit. So that's what was the goal. Like I'm fully doxed. I was like, I'm gonna bring transparency, class, some style, some fashion, to the industry. But back to your original question, anybody can launch a meme. And you can do it on different chains. And also we're seeing different memes that actually go multi-chain, right? Like Apple, for example, right? That they're both on Solana and they're on, Ethereum. And I think that's the trend that we're going to see. That's just my personal opinion, but what do I know?
Well, it's certainly a learning experience for sure, just going through the process of starting it and all that. But you've also had not only launch the tokens, but you've had to launch communities and gather your own community on social media, on Telegram, and that type of stuff. And that's not easy. How have you found that process?
Yeah, it's not easy. And just like in case anybody's checking my Lioness account, it's actually my second account. Like I had a big account. I don't know what happened. I probably commented on BlackRock or something like that because I got suspended. I mean, it's frustrating. Yeah, it happens, but it is all organic. So, and I do have a very ambitious goal. So, I'm trying to attract ladies in a manly dominated space. So it's like a double challenge if you think about it. But also I'm thinking, hey, there are 4 billion ladies in the world, less than 5% in crypto. So I'm looking at it more from a white space opportunity. I don't know, it's because I came from Big Four, we're taught to, think big, start small, scale fast, this kind of thing. And I'm just doing, as I say, one pump at a time. And I keep attracting more and more. And also because of the narrative, as I said, I want it to be something very timeless, like unlike any other memes that we have on the market. So it can be relevant to anybody. So I will continue to attract more ladies and men who support us and empower us. So that's the true narrative here.
All right, let's see if I can. Before we get into talking about the rest of the markets and what you like and that type of stuff,
Sure.
let's show your screen here. Or my screen, I should say.
You know what's interesting? One of the things that you talked about.
I'm a little slow here today.
You guys keep so great over there.
While you're doing that, Nina. So also,
she's busy a second.
I'm good. I'm here. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. Linus needs to eat once in a while, so I was offered salad. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go.
Hold on, I'm just switching my background here. Hold on a second.
Are you going? You should go to RSO. Better RSO DYOR.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. How do you guys? It's a small gem. I think it's what, under 20K. It made Iridium. You need to understand that only less than 2% make it to Iridium, and especially when you don't I was doing it by myself. I was like, let me just freaking go. Let me just go and it's like, instead of being at somebody else's table, let me create my own table, my own pride. So that's how I started. And I was thinking, pump the pumps, right? Pumps.
There we go.
From a trading standpoint, but also pumps like on Wall Street. I don't think people cared how smart I was. Everybody was paying attention at my red heels, red soles.
in all honesty, right? The old boys. Listen, I knew this girl. She told me she's she almost had 20 years on the floor, and she said she purposely would wear things that would be distracting so that she could get in on a trade or smile at somebody, get them thrown off while she's selling off on them. I was like, what? And she was like, oh yeah, dude, because it was a good old boys. You just had craziness. So yeah, do what you can. Use what you can, right?
No, listen.
Use it all.
Listen, it is an attention-grabbing economy, right? So on one hand,
it is.
Listen, we all know the ticker mother, and I actually give my commentary because, I don't tell people what to do. What happens in your wallet stays in your wallet. But also, I wanted to do something that, let's just face it, less than 5% of the girls who want to shape their, right online. And I was like,
right.
And I was like, girls, instead of, shaking those assets, by the way, which is fine. I actually think she's very talented, right? She's very talented. I love her music. But I was thinking about a bigger picture, right? So how can I attract, 4 billion girls that may not want necessarily to shake their ass, but take care of their assets and keep their French. So that was the story. But back to, in all honesty, even my experience on LinkedIn, I'll give some serious commentary on the market. Nobody gives, but I would post something when I'm on a rooftop in a tight outfit with and then I get thousands of likes.
Got it. Yeah. So even on LinkedIn. Even on LinkedIn when it's all like professional, right?
Yes. So that's why, I mean, people used to call me Cinderella at crypto conferences. I have a funny story. When I was actually next to the interviewed stand, I think it was in Palm Beach, and somebody stole a pair of my high heels. Listen, I mean,
Gotta love it.
Listen, we can be fun, but in all seriousness, I wanted to do something timeless, something fun, right? And something very educational, because if you check out the account, I also, teach, and I'm not a trader, but I'm dangerous enough, right? So, and I teach just some common sense when it comes to Web3, crypto, Bitcoin, of course. And I also joke that to me, Bitcoin became a meme of Wall Street and countries, and, everybody's trying to ape into it. And remember, it's been, oh my gosh, I remember talking to hedge funds 7 years ago in New York City saying, what's your Bitcoin agenda? Or I was trying to convince my ex-bosses to put Bitcoin and crypto on their balance sheet, and they thought I was smoking something, right? 10 years,
Right.
7 years ago, right? I mean, to be fair, one of them actually texted me a few days ago saying we should have listened to you, right? But now Mike Saylor is doing it, and honestly, I don't agree with everything that he's doing. I have a very strong opinion on that. But, bottom line to me, Bitcoin has some mimetic, characteristic to it. And I think we're going to see so many different things. And I just wanted to do, RSO, like red sauce on Solana, because that's what girls care about. We care about shoes, fashion, all of that stuff, and I can pair it with any community, any crypto project. So that was the idea. But also we started some other things for our amazing office on Tron. So again, I'm just trying to show you that the technology allows you to basically have an idea, run with it, and it's organic, and I'm proud of it. Like, it's small, it's a tiny gym, but hey, maybe I'll attract some whales, and that's it. Let's go.
Nina, we have a question from the audience. AI Alpha Wolf asks, what kind of fees are involved in setting up on XRP? When you launched your token, is it just like Pump Fund, very inexpensive?
Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap as hell. Like, I think it's the sweat equity that you put into your charts. Guys, it's very cheap. It's like... you need literally less than $200 to start your project on any of the chains, right? Well, again, unless you're paying a ton of money to KOLs and all of that stuff, but the actual launch is less than $200. But then it depends on how much you want to add to the liquidity pools and things like that.
All
right, let's see.
That's pretty good. While you're still looking that up, let's go ahead. And were you able to find it and get things going, Tom?
What are you talking about?
The chart and what's up?
Oh, I do not have a chart.
That's okay. Guys, if you go on my X account, then there's a link.
I'll bring your screen back.
We don't even need to look. It's under 20K. It's tiny, but hey, an opportunity. It's almost like I'm inviting everybody to the table. You should guys open as well. Oh, you know what's another chain? I did. I launched drone on Tron yesterday.
Drone?
Everybody
after the New Jersey drones.
Yes, everybody's talking about drones. I was like, instead of talking about drones, you can see some funny memes that I did. I said, I blame Russia. Then I was saying it's actually Santa Claus that ditched his reindeer, and he's just flying his drones. He's doing his DYOR on each of you. Before, listen, you can play up any narrative. You just need to be super creative and super funny.
That's actually really funny. Is it pumping at all, or what's it doing?
No, it's listen, it's on Tron, and I was like, I'm going to pick Tron because it's super fast. It's nothing right now. It's but we've seen this movie before when there is a token and it sits for some time, and then somebody picks it up and the community runs it. I was like, hey, maybe that's what will happen. You never know. You plant your seeds and something takes off. I have this venture capital approach to things.
Pedro, bring up the RSOL chart. People want to see it. Now, understand, people, this is a very small meme token, so the chart is...
Yeah, she just start. Yeah,
it's tiny. But you know what? It actually reflects the fact that 96% in crypto is man. It actually makes total sense to me. But I wanted to be one of those, and I did it. So yeah, you can bring it up.
And for whatever reason, because I grabbed that one. My bad. I grabbed the Chancellor.
Listen, you can go to Dex Screen or Dex Tools and just put RSO or like any other meme in our portfolio. Just kidding. This is how you get it.
There you go. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
all right, red sold. Here we go. So I was actually looking at it this morning. You guys actually bounced off a weekly zone here. So like I always look at a chart, how I would trade it and when I would get in on it. And so you guys actually
move it over
in
just a little bit.
All right, cool. What about now? Is that good?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I was looking at it and I was checking out to see where the supply area and the demand area is. And you guys actually played in a pretty good area. So you guys sold off on a good area, as if I don't, and here's the thing, I don't trade like how other traders trade for TA. I don't look at like head and shoulders and all that stuff. I think that's bullshit. I look for liquidity. Where is there liquidity in the market where buyers are going to step in or where sellers will step in? And then I look for trends. So a lot of our people here know that I'm a trend trader. It's literally what I do. So one of the things that I look for is just like, say, I use moving averages. Boom, moving averages. And then I look to see how is it trending, on what time frame are we looking for the trend taken. So you guys actually played really good from an actual charting standpoint. You guys came down to the first real like on a weekly.
And then you see Garcia, you talking about it, just Nina that likes to talk.
Well, here's the thing, it traded pretty well. So when I was looking at it, so I don't know if maybe people you love are trading this for you and they're being smart in how they're executing liquidity and then bringing liquidity in, but it came into a weekly zone. You can see here, down here, it came, so it sold off. You guys did a 10x. So you guys launched, sold off, bought in, right? So they bought on discount, right? All the way down here at these lower levels. And then, so from here, you guys go from a 5.3 area. Let me make sure I get that. Open low. So it was 5.6, and from 5.6 you guys did almost a 10x or almost a 20x here, right? Like, and it was like 15x in your lows, and then you guys sell off, right? But the thing about it is your sell off here didn't, like I would expect, like, because your weekly chart plays is what you're trading off of. If you're looking at your trading week, like you can sit there and see it, how it's playing off of it. And so it's pretty nice. If I'm looking at it from a trading point, it went up, you had good volume on this trade, and then it's coming back. So it's pulling back. And so I'm looking, if I'm going to get in on this trade, I'm looking to maybe recapture at the 0.4 1231 area ish to potentially the 0.5 97 area is really what I'm looking for. I'm going to be trading this. This is a weekly, this is a daily zone down at this level here. And so for me, it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. Now here,
I can tell you as much. It's organic, right?
Yeah,
so
it's real motion.
Yes, it's real motion, and it just started. And also, I'm still like holding the floor, right? So because I also said too many rugs. This is like no rugs for our red palms on the red carpets. So I wanted to bring some class and integrity to Scammy Solana. So that's what it's called. Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Here, I want to point in. So go ahead, bud.
No, what I wanted to ask is, earlier you mentioned that in a previous job, you're trying to convince your bosses to have crypto, Bitcoin, especially on the balance sheets and all that.
Yeah.
just the other day, Microsoft shareholders actually voted down a proposal to do that, and you made some comments about that. Can you summarize those for us here?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think it was a smart, like out of all companies, like I wouldn't, choose them. If I had to pick between like Microsoft and Apple, I just think that Sailor would have had a bigger success with Apple for many reasons, and it would be a much quicker sales cycle because Microsoft, and I think, I believe even Steve Jobs used to say that Microsoft is not innovative or futuristic enough. He actually said a couple of times that Microsoft was, missing culture around his products. And if you think about it, Bitcoin, and I joke that, it's a meme, but it does have a mimetic, culture cloud aspect of it, right? And also, like Tim Cook, he already owns Bitcoin himself, right? So if Sailor went to the Apple's boardroom, he already would have had like a prime,
right,
stakeholder, influence in the room. Think about it, right? It's just pure sales business development 101. If I were to do, a sales exercise with one of those companies, because to me, it's nothing else but like a sales exercise. And, sometimes people joke that it's easier to sell into the organization versus to, sell inside, right? To get a buy-in from, management. So I'm not surprised that, Microsoft rejected it, not that, Bitcoin needs it. I mean, there are plenty of companies that are going to jump and ape into the chart, especially with all the regulation that's, coming out. But I also believe that I disagree with the Sailor on a couple of points. And I know people love and hate me for that. I actually think that he should be advising companies to go beyond, Bitcoin. That's number one, because Bitcoin has certain characteristics, but I do believe that if a company, especially an enterprise level company, is looking for growth, the highest growth is not going to come from Bitcoin, right? And I am actually convinced that the highest growth is going to come from meme economy, in the next couple of years, and I stick to it. So I always laugh at all those big boys, and I'm very outspoken about it, even in Cardone space, when they're all cheering up 10% of Bitcoin, when from an investor standpoint, if you think about it, as an investor, you're looking for the highest ROI, highest growth in the shortest period of time, right? So nobody is questioning that Bitcoin is a store of value, that, it has so many different characteristics. But at the end of the day, people are looking for simplicity, and people are looking, to make money, even if it's a Fortune 500 company. And also they need to, do some basic risk management, because if you invest only in one asset, it's, I don't think it's a good strategy. And then I disagree with Sailor on the point of inviting, banks, to the table, because to me, I think we need to educate people and entities about self-custody. And I think there are so many solutions already out there, like institutional grade ledger. So technically you don't need a bank. And for those who actually appreciate Bitcoin, and I have not met too many purist maxis, because to me a purist maxi is the one who, doesn't touch anything else, right? But if you're trading, excuse my French, shit coins, and you put, your profits into Bitcoin, to me still you're not the purist. But at the same time, again, I just don't think, if you understand Bitcoin was meant to go around monetary system and not to have, any middleman and banks. So I just, conceptually, he pretended to be such a Maxian purist, and I actually said that the future is DeFi. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's going to be a difference between TradFi and DeFi. Similar how I think there are going to be fantastic models, and we already see it even inside Solana ecosystem, convergence between crypto and AI, right? Like Graphene is one of those projects that just recently went to 350 mil, and it's backed by Solana's founders. So I know it's my long answer to a very short question about Microsoft, but I think, and I do find that many, for whatever reason, have this black and white thinking, all or nothing. And I do believe in timeless diversification. And that's why I say I'm a multi-chain kind of girl. And I do believe that companies should diversify across TradFi and DeFi ecosystem, and they should have a balanced basket of their portfolios. That's just my 2 satoshis.
That's my 2 satoshis.
Sorry for that.
That's good. That is so good. I like that.
Hold on a sec. Pedro, we're going to do a commercial break here. Everyone, stand by. We'll be back with you in 2 minutes. All right, everybody. Thanks for putting up with the great advertising machine. We got to do it. Got to show the algorithm that we're keeping YouTube happy by running their ads. And we've tried doing it automatically for a while, but everyone gets pissed off at that, so we do it manually now to try and keep everyone in it. The price of Bitcoin, my chart is off up here. When they added some extra numbers here, it blew off my formatting. I'm not going to fix it now, but 107,410. Before we get back to the topic at hand of the many types of meme coins we could talk about, quickly, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Molinari to the house. CTO, baby. Let's effing go. Carmen Crypto in the house. Carmen Crypto, the hardest working woman in crypto. Thanks for joining us. She says, good morning, Chumbalones. Kaching is still with us at saying good morning, Carmen. And I saw someone else. Oh, yeah, Jason Spurgis, one half of the Spurgis clan. Yep. Fire Chicken is the gem you want. Everyone's got a gem that we all want, but Fire Chicken has been doing us well. And Lucifer says volume. Are we having a volume or microphone issue?
Are we dealing with volume right now?
Or volume in the markets? Okay, whatever.
Volume
anyway,
in the markets, okay.
Let's get back to Pedro.
Let's check out.
Screen. What are we working with today for meme coins here?
So Meme Coin Monday. Dude, Fire Chicken had the explosion that we saw over on, I believe, Thursday, right? And then from Thursday, we've seen it. And this is kind of like what's kind of crazy with it, right? Is that at this level, right, we're seeing it kind of hold, right? And also, remember, I always talk about previous supply becomes demand, right? So here is supply. These were red, right, areas. We came in. and we blew right through it, which is nice. And then now we're starting to see it kind of just consolidate here. So I like the way this looks. Now this area right here that I'm looking at, right? I want to see it come down into my 8-period moving average on that daily, and basically kind of see it kind of consolidate there, and then see it find support with buyers, and then see it for the next leg up. So where's that next leg up going to be? Well, let's see. Alrighty there. Alrighty. All right, come on, let go. There we are, and then we're going to hit this right here. Come on, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. Alrighty. And then we're going to do this right here. Extend right leg. All right, so let's check this baby out. Let's see how far this thing will go.
Fire chicken, ladies and gentlemen.
Fire chicken in the house.
What chain is Fire Chicken on, Pedro?
That is going to be Pump Fund. So that would be
Solana. Nice Solana token there.
Solana?
Yes. Solana, yes, ma'am. And we're seeing, so we potentially could see Fire Chicken get to that 0.47979 area. So be a nice little area, nice little pump as we push up and find support on that 8 on the daily. If not, then the next place would be back down in between the base of this level here, where I would expect to see again another buy area, and then from there we would probably, in all reality, play the next push up, which would be from here to here, and that would be, pardon me. By the way, how about them Bears this week? Anybody a Bear fan?
Well, I usually am, but I have not been paying attention to National Football League at all, because my team sucks.
So that would be,
and the Bears have been losing at the end of every game, just as a matter of principle. They're just terrible. But did they win? I don't know. Too busy with all this crypto going on. He's like,
Yes, I agree. So in the next spot, I like, if we do come back down to this lower level of that 0.420, that next leg up from here could potentially be to the 0.409 area is what I would expect to see next, which should push it out of radium and get it into the regular world. Oh, sorry. There we go. Where we would, from here to come back down, if it comes, so 2 areas I'm looking at, from here to here and from down here to here, which would be the same price point, around the same price point, but just some extra pushage, simply because of the from here to the low to the high, to back down to the low. And so I'd expect something like that to actually happen as we move forward. So shout out to Fire Chicken for holding this top. Good job. Shout out to you guys. Alrighty. Next, quick question for all you guys. I just realized she is like right next to you.
Yeah, I had to squish us in here because the great graphics machine's going to come on here in a minute and get in the way.
I got you. All right. Maybe right up in here. Oh, I see. She can't. Maybe the lower left.
Now, well, once I get the larger graphics on, my new graphics thing on it, it covers up that area. So I'm struggling where to put the third guess. The problem is that my machine's running so slow, it just takes forever to change anything.
I got it. It's all good. Okay, so next, we're going to look up here real quick. Good old Peanut. Which we've had a few people kind of talk about. Boom. Oh, no, where are you at, Mr. Peanut? I just had you.
Did you into this?
I did not.
I have not. No. We missed it.
It breaks my heart.
I made it, just saying. I was like, everybody paying $50, $100. Like I said, don't listen to your financial advisors. Pay just pin. Listen, it's.
You got to be careful. The thing is, because the government gotta be careful. The government might be coming after people. I mean,
They're not
saying
coming
that
after
even
us.
if you make people made money, you say it, man, but you don't know. You don't know.
NFA, not
But
financial advice. DYOR. Do your own research.
DYOR, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
All
All
right,
right, guys, so here we go. So Peanut is...
Oops, I got a rounding error.
I mean, we're talking about,
$1.1 billion market cap.
yep, and it's all organic, guys.
I like organic.
Look at Pedro. Check out the 24-hour trading volume on the graphics machine here. $1.1 billion market cap, $792 million traded in 24 hours.
That's what
Almost 80% of the market cap.
Yep, that is a very juicy chart, guys. And also their upcoming listings, right, with Coinbase. I mean, now they will have to, there is some IP infringement, the story, right? So the guy is basically saying that, they're not supposed to use his image, which, by the way, I agree. Like, I don't think Peanut is trademark, but all they will have to do is just to upgrade the imagery, but the chart is still there. So I'm still very lionish on Peanut.
So this guy right here is suing them.
Yeah, well,
his PFP.
He threatened to sue. I think his lawyer sent his letter today, basically saying that it's an IP infringement because they're using his image, right? So and he's basically saying this is my trademark. Like, I have not digged into this because I don't know if he actually registered a trademark. Because in the US, if you just start using, like, for example, he was using Peanut and TM, you kind of already say that it's a trademark. If you put like registered trademark, and I know because I managed an IP portfolio before for a company. So, by the way, I'm a lawyer by education, but I cannot comment on legal matters in the US. But I'm just saying to you, but I do think that they will just replace the imagery because he does have a point, like, to be fair. But the chart is so good, and I think there's a couple of listings lined up already. So I'm not.
That's so interesting.
What do you see in the chart, Pedro?
Yeah, so there's a couple places here. So our final line in the sand here, though, is kind of coming down. We're below the moving averages. Okay, you can see here that it's starting to follow that 8 period, and we have the crossover. So this area here isn't necessarily a bad area. Okay?
You gotta move it over a little, Pedro.
I always forget that, man. This area here isn't necessarily a bad area, but it's not necessarily. I'm not 100% for it because it's kind of from an intraday time frame. This might not hold. All right, and the reason why I say this is you can see as it's coming down into this area here. It's kind of like the line in the sand here right now. As it's coming down, it first went up here. And that means that the defense against those sellers isn't looking too favorable. They're filling up their sell pressure so that they can push it down through this area. So this is kind of the line in the sand right here. After that, you've got this area. You've got this area down here. Now you have one more area, which is going to be intra-time frame. And I think this can be used as a smaller time frame trade. So this is gonna be 4 hour. Right here. So the reason I say this is going to be the 800 million area. This level right here. So it's 800 million, and then the next low point here would be that 400 million. So 400 million area is another good area that we will most likely see it come down. Now it depends. Can they hold on to this level here? You can see that the volume here is increasing on the sell pressure. Okay. But we've got decent amount of buyers sitting at these levels here. So I'd expect to see it most likely come down into that 400,000 area, which is common for meme coins, right? The big push, right? Let's look at it from its beginning. Boom. We can look at it and we can track it and see typically what is its average pullback area and what does it typically do, right? So you can see here as we look, right? Market started off slow, pumped up, came back down, almost 90%, which is common, right? The first couple of days. Then, boom, shoots up, right? Kind of pulls back a little. It finally catches wings where that 8-period moving average sits it. And then, I'm going to use this here real quick, actually the daily. We see it shoot up from the peak here. 50% pullback, actually probably 60% pullback, right? It goes from the high of 12 all the way back to 3. So again, pullback, then shoots up again, pumps for the pullback, right? The high was 17 cents, pull back to 7 cents, right? And so you can sit there and say the next leg up, right? The peak was 2 billion. So let's say the average has been about 70% pullback, right? So we see a pullback, and it's be 2 billion, 1 billion, 17, roughly around 500 million, 400 million pullback. So that's this area that we could see it typically kind of pull back to into that next real amount of liquidity where people go, this is so cheap, let's get in on it, right? And then people jump in and we see the next leg up. And you can see the consolidation period for Peanut has been fairly good, right? That this is good, right? Seeing something like that. So that's it in a nutshell. Peanut nutshell.
Peanut the squirrel. Just amazing that they're almost trading their entire market cap.
Yeah.
The liquidity there is unbelievable. That's
There's another couple of meme coins I can't even pronounce, like on this on the show. But I just want you to understand that some meme coins are trading. Like there's this cereal meme coin. I'm sure you can guess what it is. I'm just too classy, like to pronounce it here. But if you think about it, the market cap of that meme coin is bigger than 85% of publicly traded companies in the US.
Yeah.
No, I just want to clear that,
yeah. Yes. You actually nailed a great point.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I just want people to understand the magnitude, right? So, and actually this is when...
this is a mid-cap stock.
Yeah.
A high mid-cap stock in a sense, right?
Yes. And
actually, it's a low mid-cap stock.
Yes. And after Peanut, I actually said that I'm upgrading. And listen, I'm not a financial advisor, so like I always say, do not follow anybody blindly, even my pumps. But I did say that it's going to be just meme economy is going to be $1 trillion vertical inside the digital assets economy. Like this is how bullish, lionish, whatever you want to after Peanut, because and this is a perfect example of that outlier, right, that we experienced. And we can sit here and analyze and do tea, but the market sentiment was so strong. So I think you have to take that in consideration as well, right? So what's going on top of, the technical analysis. So it's not one or the other, it's the combination of two, and it's a belief system. So if people continue to learn about it, and now it's going to be listed on Coinbase, Binance, they have a huge reach, and that's how it's gonna continue to consolidate before we see the next upside.
I see that.
All right,
I can see
Pedro, how about we get some of those other ones that you were wanting to talk about?
Yeah, let's check them out here real quick. So our community shouted out. There was another one that they wanted us to look at. Please don't die on me. I need to get a new computer for this one. I have my trading computer, which is amazing, and then I have this computer. Anyways, show. Okay, that's effing wild. Lawyer, huh? Yeah, I believe you are a lawyer, right?
By education, but it's in Russia. I mean, I don't practice here, so I'm not giving any legal advice. But I'm dangerous enough.
So she's getting her law degree again. I was like, so you'll blow through that one pretty quickly. Right. All right, good morning. All right, boom. You guys were
just move into the top ones. Let's talk about the newsworthy ones.
All right, guys. If you guys want us to go, you know that you guys typically can shout out what you guys want us to look.
They got out Fire Chicken. People are mentioning Infineon, but that's not launched yet. It's coming out next week or next month.
What about Museum of Memes? Did you see that one?
Museum of Memes?
MOM, yes, mom.
Oh,
Mom,
Museum
MOM.
of Memes, mom. Right? Yes, you did send that to me. I did.
Oh my gosh!
Send it to me.
Hold on.
I don't
guys,
have a
so
contract for it.
Listen, hold on. I'm just like, listen. There is so much the creativity in this space. Like I crack up.
Absolute 100%. The creativity is out of this world in memes. It's like people have to figure it out so they can do one better than someone else, and they do. They do. They come up with great stuff.
They do. It's like I open my Dex too. It's a Dex screen, and it's like. If you're having a bad day, just go to a Dex screen and you will laugh.
This is true. It's actually hilarious because sometimes this stuff I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm cracking up, dude. You just can't make this stuff up. It's similar to what Musk tweeted. Did you see what he tweeted about drones yesterday? No, I didn't. What did he say?
Oh, and with Chris Christie?
No, but there was the shooting guide for drones in New Jersey, and it's like all planes and everything is called drones. Basically, shoot anything that's in the sky.
Oh, right. That's Newark Airport, John F. Kennedy Airport, Teterboro, all the major airports in the area. People are like, drones! Oh my God, look at all these drones! It's like the flight from London, the flight from Paris, the flight from India.
No, but there's some unbelievable. Are you guys into Sui network at all?
Not really. Yeah, we watched it. We watched it Moon, that's for sure.
Yeah, Lofi is the mascot, right? The basically the mascot meme of that network now. So I think it's a runner too. NFA.
I like it.
NFA, exactly.
See, I need to do a ticker NFA because I have a ticker DYOR. Like because every time you tweet, it's a ticker, right? DYOR. Like.
All right, let's go ahead and check out. So there's a small little meme coin was actually passed in a group that I was looking at, and the guy had been talking about it here back when it was in the 200,000 300,000 area here.
Nice.
Popped up to 1 million, and now it's kind of going sided. So the guy who, if anybody knows who Russ is, Russ in relationship to Shiba Inu, then you know who this is. It's a group that he has, but he mentioned this, and he actually called Nero when Nero was about 200,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he's kind of at first I thought it was kind of like okay, he's playing with his own money, and then I realized how many wallets are in it, and you're like, oh, okay, now this is real. So, and it does take a minute before this stuff to take off. So again, this isn't anything. This is DYOR. This is DYOR. All right, but for me, I wanted to see the pump. So over the weekend, we saw it pump. It went from I think 5. No, it's not 5 million. What we're sitting at. So we're at 3 million. Boom, 3. So yeah, 3 million. So it came back. It was sitting over here. So it was sitting at about 1,800,000. It pumped to, I believe, about 12 mil, and then now it's pulling back. And so I'm looking for a couple areas. So this area right here for Slimer, this is Slimer, SLIMER. The last 4 of the ticker is, and this is on Dex Screener, is going to be Echo Alpha, lowercase Echo Alpha 8, lowercase Bravo. That's B. And then on the first 4 is going to be 0x72, so you can pay attention there. Now, I bring this up because, again, I slept on Nero because I was new to the group, and he's now posted a couple other ones that I'm shamefully upset at myself, still missing those. So this is on Ethereum.
So many missed, so many, but there'll always be
many.
more.
Yeah, but I'm looking to kind of capture. And again, I'm not telling you to tell you. Personally, I'm gonna throw a little cash in it and see what's up, see what happens. If this thing does potentially, even if it goes to 100 million, I'm happy camper, right? So I'm looking to capture something off of this here. I'm shilling this because it's something that I am looking at and potentially going to be getting in here. But again, you guys also know I shilled the DDD area, and the DDD area had a bit of a pump, but it's just, that's the defend, this one right here. That's this. That was
From the
this play
healthcare
right here.
CEO thing.
Yeah.
That,
one was one of the ones.
that rug bolt. Or slow
definitely.
rugged, or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it
Dev
is.
sold.
Yeah. So you can see it went up and then came back down. So again, we'll see what happens here. So again, I'm not the best at calling them, but I can trade them really well. That's the thing. So that's potentially maybe why we have Miss Lioness here. So she'd be like, Pedro, look at this.
I know.
Like, you call them and I trade them, and we make a lot of fun.
Welcome to everybody watching us on Rumble. Just a quick shout out to the people watching us on Rumble. Thank you very much for joining us over there. Good crowd. Our crowd over on Rumble has been bigger today than our YouTube crowd. That's always appreciative. So thank you to all of you Rumblers out there.
Absolutely. And if y'all want to ask Miss Lioness a question or something like that, please ask her. We've
only got about 20 minutes left in the show today, Pedro. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do one more commercial break, and then that'll be it for the show. So everybody, we'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, everybody. Thanks for putting up with our commercial break. Bio break, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, Pedro, we've only got a few minutes left in the show here. Let's hit those top ones that we want to talk about, and hopefully Nina can tell us if we should be buying or selling these things.
All right. No, we're buying everything.
just buy. Just buy.
She's done. She's done. No.
Kidding. No.
No.
DYOR. We do DYOR.
Yeah. DYOR. Do your own research over here. DYOR. All right. So let's check out Dogecoin. Dogecoin has been having a little fun with what Elon has been going out saying, having a lot of good. Just a good time. You can see here that we've been consolidating here between this level. So I'm basically going to draw this out. Many of you guys have seen me this, right? Where we have a consolidation period. And then in that, I'm going to put a smaller consolidation period here. Now with this little level here, once we get below this little level, I'm expecting this to come back down to these other areas here. Where are all my... That's not good. Something's going on. Give me 1 second. Doge, here we are. There we are. Okay. There we are. I was like, I already thought
$60 billion market cap, $5 billion in volume past 24 hours. Just amazing.
Yeah, it's insanity. So you can see here, we've been kind of consolidating at these levels here. One of those things that I'm making sure that we understand is that if this thing starts to show weakness here again, we're most likely going, and it already is. We've actually crossed the 8 and the 20 period moving average here. And it's starting to find some basically resistance as it happens. So the longer it stays in this area, right, it basically pushes the sellers where people will start to get antsy and they want to sell and take profit, right? It's a good way of looking at it. And so I would expect if that starts to happen, you got a couple areas. We can see it pull back down to that 34 cent area, and potentially coming down to that 20 cent area. So I'm looking for this type of move where if we come down, my first entry, if you're looking to get back in, is at that 33 cent, and then kind of hold off and wait, and potentially you could come back down to that 20 cent area here as it comes down. But if we start to see Elon Musk tweeting and talk about craziness as he always does, right? Right, and you don't know. I want to make sure that I would expect it to get potentially, because like the only that's stopping us is that supply area that we talked about. And so the next level is really that 76. That's the all-time high, is sitting at that $80 billion mark.
All right, what's next? We got to rip through these.
All right, boom. Yep. Let's check out Solana. We're not checking out Solana. Checking out Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is again showing weakness. We're below the 8 and the 20 period moving average. And we talked about coming back down to that. What is that? 402 area to the 4023.05 to the 4022.59 area. So this is one of those areas I'm looking for a pullback into, potentially getting in on Shiba Inu. Nice little play right there. And then where's the other one? Where is Pepe? We'll check out Bone here because sorry. We'll do Bone and then we'll go into Pepe. So Bone came down into our area here. Last week we talked about this and I said it's got to push through that 8 period moving average. If we don't, then we're going to continue down. You can see here that 8 period is that trending mark is going down. It's coming up and it's acted as resistance as it keeps trying to go through. So it's either going to push through it at this level, because we're bouncing off the 8 in the zone here. And so it's got to push through with volume. We're seeing the volume basically come out, or the amount of buyers are definitely coming out because they're trying to push it up. They're fighting against it. If it's going to see a push through, it's got to push through the moving average, the daily volume average, which has got to come out. We got to see 2.3 or 2. We've got to see it get above here. This yellow line, we got to see volume get above here. If it doesn't, it's going to continue down. We're seeing an increase in volume, but not much. So this is where I think we're coming back down to that 2670 to the 2450 area. And that's going to be that 200-day period moving average, which most likely you guys can pick back up and then kind of capture it again to the higher levels. Again, I think Bonk is going to be pushing up past where it's where
Wait,
we're
Bone
at
or
its high
Bonk?
here. I don't know why I keep saying
Bonk. I got the graphic up for Bone.
Bonk. It says Bonk. I'm sorry. I thought it was Bone. B-O-N-K. Bonk. All right, so this is Bonk. Bone is right here. Forgive me. So that's Bonk. For Bone is right here. Come on. I'm like trying to push through this here real quick. All right, so we hit supply area here, and we saw the sell-off for bone, okay, as we came in. Forgot to turn it into supply, but I'm going to take this off here. Boom, boom, we push through. Now that area will typically act as resistance, but it's got to stay above the 8. And you guys can see it didn't. It's similar to what we're seeing with bonk. It's the 8 period is acting as resistance. So for me, I would expect us to see it come back down to the 41 cent area. So this is a good area where people will be able to pick more up and buy it and then see it continue up there. But I'm definitely looking for the 40 area here if it fights against it and we see us get above that 8 period moving average. We want to see the volume pick up, and we want to see it get above the average volume, which is going to be the 826K amount. That's where you want to see it get above it. Okay. And then we want to see it go up and then come down, look something like this. Boom, 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 right? You guys know that pattern. I talk about it a lot. So that's what we want to see with volume. Okay, Brett, let's check out Brett. Brett here came down to our area here. If you guys got in, great. I'm excited. But again, we weren't able to get above the 8. Similar situation, right? Looking familiar. What am I going to say? We need to back down, pick up buyers. And when it comes to picks up buyers, what do we need to see the volume do? Needs to go green and needs to get above the average of daily volume, and in a big way in that level, and see it increase. Something we want to see something like this amount of volume, get above this. This is what I'm looking at. Come down, boom, break out. You see how we get just right there with the daily volume, and then pop, pull back with volume. And then we see it go to the moon. All right. And that's what we want to see. We want to see it. Most likely it's going to happen down at this lower level here. All right.
Nina, have you done a lot on base? Brett has been taking base by storm.
Brett, yes. I joke I'm still like, I have a toxic relationship with Solana. Yes, Brad. I do like base as well. I'm a multi-chain kind of girl, so I told you that, guys.
Absolutely.
I think
it can be.
If you want to win in this market, you have to be on multiple chains. I'm sorry.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. So go ahead.
I said, with all my respect to Maxis, like this chain or that chain, like, you know, I'm okay. I'm in an open relationship with multiple chains.
You are fluid. There's a fluid in your relationship. Multiple meme coins can come in, slide up in my DMs.
I want to commit to Bitcoin and RSO and the rest of them. Absolutely. Okay, so we can see here with Pepe. Came down back here on this trade. We saw it come down through and explode, right? Hopefully our guys were able to get in at this area here as it exploded. Now, I said I've been waiting for it to kind of push up. Similar, we've lost a lot of volume, but you can see we've stayed above that 20 period moving average, and it's finding support. And so we talked about the weekly 8. That weekly 8 has been what's been holding this. It's waiting for it to come up. So we watched it last night. Right. Last night we saw it kind of come down, right, and then kind of come back. We went green last night. So I expect it, if it doesn't continue up with volume, which we're watching it continue with volume. See how we've seen volume come in, right? Then the last few days, right? If this thing can catch legs, Pepe could see the next leg up here into these highs of the 0.43285 area is where I would expect to see it kind of get above the high here and find it up here. Right. So that would be one of those areas. And then again, expect a type of pullback, boom, boom, right? Your first target, if we decide to get long here, it's going to be the high, which is going to be that 28 area. Wait for a small pullback and then a continuation as it pushes up, right? It's something that I would look to see. Boom, pop, boom, 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 boom.
right? It's something that I would look to see.
And I'm sure like Robinhood listing and Moonshot listing had to do something with it, right? So
certainly,
Absolutely.
very liquid markets on
Absolutely.
Robinhood. When they bring all that money in, it certainly helps.
Yeah, and the other part behind it as well is, and remember, those guys when they get into it earlier, right? They buy up a lot of liquidity and then they bring it onto their market. Remember, these guys, there's a lot of money here, right? They probably got in around these levels here before they decided to really say they were going to list it, right? So in that level, when it starts in, every time we see it create new, and we see this with traditional finance, right? The rumor gets leaked out by insiders, right? But it was being bought all the way back here. So they buy right here. It gets leaked out right here, okay? Meaning the rumor. Then they list it up here. And then what do we see?
yeah,
Right? Boom, boom, boom.
by the rumor.
Buy the rumors, sell the...
Yes, so that's exactly timeless, right?
It's very timeless.
Yeah.
It is timeless. Timeless. Much like your pumps. So I like it. I like your pumps. The red pumps are awesome. I think it's DYOR. All right. So, sorry. Go ahead.
That's because men are attracted to red. Did you know that?
I do.
That's. Have you ever thought why race cars are red, like Ferrari, like?
Absolutely.
That's another topic for another day. Let's go back to your red candles or green candles.
I'm purposely always applying a lot of. Anyway, so let's go ahead here
like
real
this
quick.
red here.
There's a reason why, or if you look.
Yeah, he's got the.
So let's jump back here real quick. So now let's check out Floki. Floki got a lot of news with their list and everything that was happening with them. We're seeing them though. Again, I think if you're looking to be capturing part of Floki, I like Floki down here. So I'm waiting for the sell-off down at this 1799 area, down in this level here, down about that 100-day period moving average on the daily. I think it's going to pull back down there. We'll see it consolidate and then continue up. Boom. Let's check
Floki's
out.
2.2 billion, and according to the great graphics machine here, they've traded $572 million in Floki, if you can believe that, over the past 24 hours. That's unbelievable, the amount of volume they've got going on there.
Dude, it is one of those things, bro, that you're just like, it's insanity. It like, just think like look at Baby Doge, right? Baby Doge. And oh, by the way, came down to our area, guys. Real quick, that was the other one we were talking about. So Baby Doge, we were talking about, I said, do not get into it up here. If you're thinking about, if you want to get into it, you can get in at that 8 period moving average, but we want to see it pull back into this area here, right? So for Baby Doge, so this is the first position I talked about where I would look to see where we're going to find support as it comes in, right? It's going to peak it, then we want to see it then kind of come up and then find support, right? We want to see, what do I want to see down here? Let's see volume. Right? And I want to see as it's moving into it, I want to see it accumulate that volume strong, right? And then see it continue up. But the key point is here is if this holds. So I like this area here. We're starting to see it kind of hold. I think it's going to come back even further. I think it's going to come down easily, most likely come back down either to the peak here. I'm going to show this here real quick, which is going to be a flip zone here. And in additionally to that, we also have the 20 period moving average as well as the weekly A around that level. So if we see it start to come back down, I'd expect it to see kind of tap in this level here between that 34 area and potentially 31 area. Most likely, this is where we'll see it, most likely a wick down into our lower level here of that 25 area, and then a pickup where we'll most likely see it then pick up buyers, which we'll see it again going the next leg up. So I like the Baby Doge, and I'm glad many of our guys didn't buy in on the crazy hype. All that I said, nah, that's just nuts. And I was around here last week where we were talking about don't be buying in. This is crazy. Like, it's not going to continue. At least come back down to here. If not, come down to the lower level.
Wrong button there.
Where did our lioness go, bro?
I'm here. I'm here.
I hit the wrong button. Here we go. Coming back. But we're at the top of the hour here.
All righty.
Nina, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Pedro and I are going to stick around for just a minute to wrap up the show. But we want to thank you for coming on board today and helping us out with the meme coins, talking to us all about your DYOR and our Soul projects. We really appreciate that. Hope our viewers got some good info about it and maybe want to buy in. And maybe they're doing their own research at your projects and buying into your projects to support you and that type of stuff. But anyway, we'll see you again in the future.
I appreciate you, boys. Thank you. And I had a lot of fun. So always DYOR, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much.
Definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks. That was Nina Fox. Her links are in the body of the show here. Nina Knox, not Fox.
Yeah,
Nina Knox. And their links to her Telegram and to her Twitter channel are in the body of wherever you're watching this. So go find her. Go find her projects. Give her a support if you so choose. But thank you to Nina for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely.
Cheers. All right, Pedro, not much left to talk about. I got to get going here. The government in Canada is about to fall, and I got to help Mrs. Striking do a couple of things here.
I bet.
Things
are about to get crazy for you. Which I would love to actually have even a night session where we can talk about what's actually happening in the inner sanctums, where you could talk about what you could talk about, like what's actually happening.
Yeah, I got to work on that. It's coming up into the holiday season. We got to work out our holiday schedule and all that type of stuff and think what's going on. We haven't talked to our audience in a while here. It's been a very small audience today.
Yeah, no, for real.
Crypto Mike says, "Is the sky falling?" No, but your government might be falling. So,
yeah, dude, Nina was really on top of her stuff in that. She actually knew a lot.
It was good.
She was impressive.
A good guest and had some good
impressive
commentary and a very good background in traditional finance. So that works out very well. Hey, Crypto Mike's like, woohoo, finance. Government falling.
Yeah, a lot of you guys, it was funny, is in my trading community, they were talking about it, and the top guy has not liked the very liberal leaning side of the fiscal policies that you guys have established, and so I get an ear of it at least once a week.
It's called spend until everyone turns red like I am right now. That's what it's.
Yeah.
That's what it's been. And that's what one of the problems in the U.S. was, too. I mean, it was spend. And everyone says, oh, yeah, but your guys spent then, too. And your guys spent then, too. And your guys spent then, too. And then you guys, oh, yeah, back in 1865, Andrew Jackson spent, blah, blah, blah. And people forget about nothing. History doesn't matter here. People need to remember what needs to be fixed today to make tomorrow better. And fixing today doesn't mean going, oh, yeah, but your guy. Oh, yeah, but your guy. Who gives a shit about your guy versus your guy? What needs to happen now? We need to stop spending. How much? We need to pay down debt. We don't need to pay it all off. We just need to pay it down. Stop the advancement of it. And Canada's having that same problem here. What I believe the news commentators today were talking about was that the numbers that are going to come out from the Canadian government about their debt are going to be far worse than what was anticipated. And which is gonna hurt the country a lot because it's a big chunk, and the current government did a great job of eviscerating the natural resources industries, which generate minerals. Pulling shit out of the ground and selling it to other people is a great way to pay off debt. You get the materials for free. You just got to pay to get them out and process them, and restarting all that's going to take years.
You think so?
You can't believe what's going on in Alberta. I mean, they've got so many oil wells capped there because they can't get it to market. They didn't let the pipelines be built. So they're building two different railroads. They're building a railroad from middle of Alberta all the way up to Prudhoe Bay in Alaska, like through the thick and thin and shit of tundra, just to bring. And railroad is not efficient at moving oil. You got to have, it's better to have a pipeline that is the railroad. Instead, they're going to have all these trains running all day, all the time, trying to get the oil to market.
Dude.
And it's just been a disaster. And so that's why Colia is so big on bringing Bitcoin to Alberta and Bitcoin mining, because they have the infrastructure there. They have methane gas coming out of the ground, just doing nothing. You can convert that into miners. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff going on here, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a good show today. We had a great guest. Kumgar over on Rumble says, great guest today. Great show today.
Y'all liked her? Love to know what your guys' thoughts about her and what you guys think. I mean, maybe she could become a person that we could watch, or not watch, talk to, maybe for Meme Coin Monday if you guys watch her. So we'll bring her on if you guys thought she was good.
Crypto Mike says she was cool. It's good. It's good when we get a good guest. It means we can bring them back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Pedro, you're not hearing it, but the people are hearing it. That's the outro music, playing little Manila kick tracks right now. It's got about a minute to go in the show. For schedule today, tomorrow you're going to have another episode of the Swamp Creatures, most likely around 10 a.m. or so. Good stuff coming out from them. We'll be on with DYOR Live tomorrow at the normal time. Wednesday, Pedro, we're going to need to do an early show because this Strike and I got to drive to Toronto. We want to beat some snow, so we might do a noon show. Try to pack a lot in an hour long. But she was really cheerful, which was good. Cheerful was definitely the word of the day there.
Yeah,
but
dude. I think it was a good mix.
Running her own meme coins and stuff.
I mean, I thought it was a good mix because we're always laughing, cracking up, and so it was actually really good. The laughter is super important. And she's a financial advisor and a lawyer, and she's worked in a lot of hedge funds and stuff like that, so she understands Washington and the craziness
Yeah, you could see her face when she was analyzing the screen when you had the charts up. You could see her just like focus and do this and stuff. But it was good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good show. We're gonna have probably lots of interesting news tomorrow on Technical Tuesday because the markets are gonna be moving if governments are falling. Currency markets are gonna be moving. All that kind of stuff. As always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. So glad to have hosted another episode here on the DYOR Media Network of this award-winning show, DYOR. Thanks to everyone at Rumble for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.